everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So we're here today because it is BookList Thursday. BookList Thursday is something I do with Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with some sort of thoughts, ideas, recommendations, something bookish related. I don't know how this week has gone by. I really wanted to get another video up for you guys. I have loads of ideas. It's just, I'm calling this month Mayvember. It's kind of like December, but in May. There's just a lot going on. I have, kids stuff, end of school year stuff, spring sports and work and life. So I am here. I have ideas of things to do. They're coming. It just might be a little slow. So stay with me, please. But anyways, for BookList Thursday for today, a few weeks ago, we did good book, bad cover. So we're going to do the opposite of that and say good cover, I'm going to call them bad books. So these types of videos make me uncomfortable because just because it didn't work for me doesn't mean it's not going to work for somebody else. And so I will go over the books, what drew them, what piqued my interest in them, and then maybe what about them I didn't connect with as much. Not saying that they're bad books. They just weren't great books for me, but they might be for you. So of the 5 books I'm going to talk about, I only still own one of them, which is in my Pango shop. The other 4 I have already moved on. They have found other homes. So I'll start with the one that I still have. And if this definitely is something you want to read, it's in my Pango shop. It's linked below. This could be yours. I am also going to apologize for that. The doorbell is going to go off incessantly because there are baby possums under my deck and a mom who is taking very good care of them. And I love them because they eat ticks and they don't really bug people. But the dog is insistent on being some sort of watchdog over them. So she just wants to go outside all of the time. So I'm forcing her to stay in and give them a break. She just sits there. She's not doing anything to them. She just likes to kind of be there, but she'll probably hit that bell more than once. So sorry. Anyways, first book I want to talk about, good cover, The Lionist by Chris Bojalin. So much about this cover I love. So this follows a Hollywood actress, kind of big time Hollywood actress in the 60s. And she decides that she's going to take a trip with some of her family and some of her friends. They're going to go on a safari in Africa. And that group ends up getting kidnapped. So cover tells me there's definitely some drama involved. There's a bit of a mystery involved. How will this get resolved? Are we going to be able to escape? Is it going to be some sort of negotiation? I don't know. So the premise of that mystery of why she was kidnapped, what's the motive behind it? How do they get out of it? How do they get out of it? Drew me in. The reality of this is there are a lot of characters that this book goes in depth on, pretty much everybody that's on the trip, and it's divided up by character. And gives a lot of background information about that character, almost as much as the actual story, if not more than the actual story. So if you like a lot of characters, if you like multiple POVs within a story, if you like hearing kind of the whole picture around it, this definitely could be a book for you. I wanted more adventure and more of the drama of what happened for the kidnapping and the why and the safari part of it, which it wasn't as much that as it was the other. So that's why it didn't work for me, but could work for you. But this cover, I love. So next one I want to talk about, and this might cause some stir, some angst, I don't know. But it is Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Semple. It's here. This one, not only I love covers like this, I love colorful covers like this. I am gravitated, I will go to books like this and covers like this. But with this book, it centers around B as she is trying to, she won a trip to Antarctica and the family is getting ready to go. And then all of a sudden her mom just kind of disappears. And so Bernadette is her mom. She is trying to figure out where did her mom go and why and what's kind of happening. There's definitely some multimedia aspects to this because she's going through emails and text messages and a bunch of various, like the evidence that was left behind to try to figure out where her mom is. So I thought that that was really unique. But I don't remember much else. I remember kind of getting a little bored with it. And then I personally, as a mom, was like, why would you do this to your child and your family? Like, I just had some moral issues with it. So just wasn't a book for me, but definitely books that look like this are ones that are going to catch my eye and I'm going to be drawn to them for sure. Next one is The Nest. This is by Cynthia D'Apri Sweeney. Oh, I probably messed that up big time. But anyways, this one again draws me in. It's a simple cover, but I feel like there's an element. I get drawn into this cover, and this to this day will fake me out. Be like, oh, it's this, and I'm like, oh, it's The Nest. Nah. This one explores a family with a number of relationship dynamics within this family. There is a situation that occurs that kind of presents the family with this opportunity to have this like come to Jesus meeting, basically. It's a very wealthy family, so it kind of explores like this side of how does the money play into the relationship dynamic between some of the characters. I felt like there was too many characters, and I felt like it was like, really, this is what we're getting so upset over. Just wasn't really the story I was looking for. I couldn't really relate. Maybe that was more of it. I couldn't really relate to it, but beautiful cover for sure. Next one I want to talk about is What's Mine and Yours by Naomi Coster. I had to really look this up to remind me what this book was about even, so that should tell you it's massively forgettable. This one follows two kids who are from two different sides of the community, and this community had some boundary changes within the schools, and so a lot of students from a predominantly Black school are now going to a school where it's predominantly white. There's a school play that is being put on, and there's this effort behind this play that this is how we're going to bring these two different cultures of kids together. We follow two main characters that are from two very different families, and we're getting the story behind what those families are doing or how those families are helping these kids set themselves up for success and kind of be able to develop a better life for them than what they've maybe come from. And the cover draws me in. Again, I love colorful covers, and so that's going to pull me in every single time. But it was forgettable. I found myself not really caring about them, and maybe that's just the point in time that I was at the moment. I don't know, but it just wasn't great for me. And then the last book I want to talk about is The Good Neighbor by Maxwell King. This one is about Mr. Rogers, and I grew up watching Mr. Rogers. I grew up on a farm. We had like the Farmer 5 channels. I didn't get to watch Nickelodeon or the CW or any of that, so I had your standard channels and PBS and watched Mr. Rogers even as I was older. But I was so intrigued into learning more about Fred Rogers' life. And I mean, I learned a lot about his life. That was so detailed. It was too much in the book. We learn about who his first grade teacher was and her entire family and what she would have for dinner. I mean, that's probably an exaggeration, but there was just so much, and it was very dry. I love nonfiction and memoirs that read like a story. And being about Mr. Rogers, this epic icon whose job it was to tell stories and educate and share that information with a bunch of children, I didn't expect it to be as dry as it was, knowing who it was about. So, covers like this, definitely. I mean, I see him and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember King Friday. And I remember learning about how crayons were made from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Like that stuff, it was very nostalgic for me. So of course I'm drawn into it and I'm very interested in it, but it was just, I need somebody else to tell me the story. So anyways, those are 5 books that have great covers, not necessarily great books. Head over to Sarah's channel, see what she has. Again, they just didn't work for me. Doesn't mean that they're bad books. So if anybody, Pango Shop, if you're interested, head over to Sarah's channel and see what she has picked out for today. Otherwise, leave me a comment below. What is a book that has a great cover, but maybe doesn't live up to how great the cover is? Leave it below. I like some information. Anyways, or if you agree or disagree with any of these, let's have a chat. I would love it. Change my mind. I would love it. Otherwise, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Like it, you know the drill. And we will see you next time. Bye.